It's not a good day to own a Murray string trimmer. This unit's only a year old. I've already had to adjust the carburetor a few times using a Bic pen point collar. There's a video about that. But now my primer bulb is totally empty of fuel. I putted around with it yesterday, couldn't get it to start. It will start with starting fluid, fires right up, but it won't run because there's no fuel. I started playing with the bulb during the normal starting process this morning and actually noticed that in the green fuel line, which is clear, translucent, the gasoline and air bubbles are actually going back to the tank. So there's got to be some kind of a problem up here, and I'm going to attempt to diagnose that. Maybe it's loose screws or something. We're just winging it at this point. I used a flathead screwdriver to make sure these two screws are tight, this one and that one, and they were nice and snug. But I noticed there's some unusual bubble activity going on in there. I don't know if we can focus or not, but it's just sitting there going bubble, 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 which means the line has to be open. So that can't be the problem. Well, it turns out it's the black line, which is not clear, is the pickup line. I pulled the filter out of the tank. It was easy to do, just reach in there and grab it with a screwdriver, lift it up, pull it out. I never saw one of these before. Seems like it's made out of like a porous ceramic, and it has to get the fuel through that. It certainly doesn't look dirty or clogged or anything, so I don't think it's a filter or a tank problem. There was one little piece of black stuff down in there. Like I said, I poured the gas out back into the can, and for some reason we're still not picking up. Next I'm going to pull this fuel line off and blow through it, suck through it, see if I have free passage in a fuel line. Okay, I pulled that fuel line off the black, that's the pickup line, blew through it, got a little bit of gasoline come out of the filter, back flushed it a little bit, and air passes through quite easily. Now I'm going to attempt to prime it with the lid off, the gas tank, in case its vent on it's clogged and it's creating a vacuum. I'm getting a little bit of slow return on my primer bulbs. It's like it's wanting to pick up something. I'm going to keep doing this. See if I can get that bulb to fill up. That was a complete bust. This is full air. The green return line's full of air. It's getting air up here somewhere. The next thing I'm going to do is take this bulb off. I was unable to find any issues with the bulb, so I guess we're going to have to get down a little deeper into the carburetor there. See if, the bulb looks fine. Looks like it was seated fine from the factory. So we're still on the case. Boy, I hope you can see this, but this hole right here is loaded with gunk. Well, I removed the two screws next to the primer bulb. This lifted off easily. You had to pull the throttle to get that throttle linkage out of the way, and it just comes right up. And this looks to be totally clogged. I'm going to reach down in there with a clear end after I turn the camera off because I can't see what I'm doing through the lens. And then show you what I get out of there. I'm thinking this is the problem. What you see on the end there is less than 1/4 of the gunk that's down in there. I thought I had clean fuel. I thought I practiced clean fuel practices. But I don't know why the filter wouldn't pick up on that, but it doesn't really look like dirt. It's more like mushy oil. It's not really a dirt. Oh, what do they call that? Gunk. There you go. It's all gunked up. It's now time to start getting excited. You saw how gunked up that hole was. What's at the bottom of it is a very, very fine screen which gathered up all that gunk. I used Gumout throttle cleaner with the little red hose on there. I shot it up through here. That stuff came out through these two holes here, so that was clear. And then I sprayed off this. Got it nice and clean. The rest of the surface area. Now, simple reassembly. Just set this block back on there and then put the two screws on for the primer bulb, and then I'll see if we can't get this thing running. Okay, we've reassembled, and now for the first time I'm going to start priming. See what happens. It's fuel in the tank. Look at that, it's filling right up. Oh my goodness. This thing's probably going to run now. Oh my goodness. That started on the 4th pull. I haven't been able to sleep for the last 3 days because my shoulder hurts so much from yanking on this stupid thing. 2 screws, spray Gumout. That's the answer to your problem. If you're not getting any fuel in your bulb and the bulb's not cracked. Check your fuel lines, blow through them, look inside your tank if there's any dirt in there, rinse it out with some gas. I think what that might have been was sawdust. I share the same gas with my chainsaw, and last fall I was cutting down an apple tree and might have got some cross-contamination with sawdust. But anyway, I'm going to have to rinse out my gas can real good, start over again. Got to keep them clean, boys. There you go. No fuel in the bulb. That little screen might be blocked.